Welcome to Dr. P.C. Burman Economist YouTube class. Today we will continue Industrial Policy of 1991. We have discussed its 1 to 16 first part of 39 points of 1991 industrial policy. Out of 39, there are three classifications, 1 to 16, and then 17 to 38, and then 39. So we are now coming to the nearer to the closure of the first part. We had discussed up till now 9th point of 39 points of 1991 industrial policy. Now switching to 10th feature of industrial policy of 1991, we find that while government will continue to follow the policy of self-reliance, there would be greater emphasis placed on building up of our ability to pay for imports through our own foreign exchange earnings. In the third feature, in the 10th feature of 1991 industrial policy, government declares that government will try to continue that policy, follow the policy of self-reliance, follow the principle of policy of self-reliance. There would be greater emphasis placed on the building of our ability, to pay for imports. That means we will not be dependent upon foreign exchange collected from the borrowing from different financial institutions, international bank, international financial institution. We will not borrow for payment of import. So we will try to build up our capacity of exportable goods. More and more exportable goods we will try to cover it up, and thereby we will earn foreign exchange, and out of our own foreign exchange we will utilize it for the payment to the imports. 11th feature of 1991 industrial policy tells us that there will be encouragement of entrepreneurship, bringing new technology, dismantling of the regulatory system, development of capital market for the benefit of common man. Now we look that coming to the 11th point, there is slight shift from controlled economy to the open economy, from domestic to the external sources. So in 11th point, there is also a hint about the dismantling of the regulatory system. There is clear declaration of encouragement of entrepreneurship. There is clear indication of bringing new technology, and there is development of capital market. We all know that there are two types of market, capital market and money market. Under money market, what we get? Short-term lending and borrowing. In capital market, we will get long-term lending and borrowing. And therefore, what 1991 industrial policy in its 11th feature declares that there will be encouragement of entrepreneurship in India, bringing new technology to India, dismantling of regulatory system which have been practiced in India from 1948 to 1990, and development of capital market for the benefit of common man. So socialistic pattern of society would be established where common man benefit is of prime consideration. Then the 12th feature of 1991 industrial policy tells us that government will provide supports to a small scale industry. This is what we have been seeing in all industrial policy about the beating drum about the importance of the small scale industry, that it will give more employment, it will not have increase of monopoly, it will not lead to concentration of money, wealth in a fewer hands. So there is a quite declaration in the 12th feature of 1991 industrial policy that government will provide support to a small scale sector. Number 13 feature of 1991 industrial policy tells us that foreign investment and foreign technology, these two are most important factor for the development in the modern world. So foreign investment and technology collaboration will be welcomed. Foreign investment and foreign technology collaboration will be welcomed. 14th feature of 1991 industrial policy tells us that government will ensure that there will be abolition of monopoly of any sector. Mind it, PV Narasimha Rao very cleverly, as the industrial minister, tells about the end of the commanding height of public sector, that there will be the abolition of monopoly of any sector. This one sentence is having total industrial policy in its imbibed in it. That the 14th feature of 1991 industrial policy tells us that there will be abolition of monopoly of any sector. It means there will not be monopoly of public sector also. This is a great change in the industrial policy structure. And 15th public sector, 15th feature relating to that, public sector will play its rightful role in the socio-economic scenario. It means role of public sector will come to the social sector, socio-economic sector, R&D, development of the social welfare, unemployment, poverty, all these will come under this. So public sector will play its rightful role, and this is the 15th feature. So take a careful note of 14th feature, that under 14th feature of 1991 industrial policy, the government will ensure that there will be abolition of monopoly of any sector. Monopoly of any sector. Last point of this session, that public sector will play its rightful role in the socio-economic scenario. So these are the 15 points out of 16 points, that is 16th point. So 15th, after 15th, I speak out the 16th point. 16th point I will write on the board, but before that I discuss you. The 16th point will be the end of the 3 sections, first of the 3 sections of 39 points of 1991 industrial policy. 16th point is very important because it is related to labor welfare. It is related to considering labor as a partner in the production. Capital and labor, these two are the most important factors of production in the economy. Capital dominates everywhere, but in a socialistic pattern of society, capital has its importance, but workers have their own importance. Workers will be treated as partner of production. Workers' welfare, welfare management, workers' participation in the management, all these will be considered, and appropriate legislations will be passed for that. This is the end of the 1 to 16. What I speak out, that is 16th feature of 1991 industrial policy, that labor welfare measures, labor welfare legislations, labor importance will be considered. Workers will be treated as partner of the production process. Workers' participation management will be discussed, and there will be no exploitation of laborer workers in the factory. There will be upgradation, there will be change in legislations, so that the problems of labor, problems of industrial dispute, that will be settled quickly. Now we will enter into the second section, that is most important section, that is known as truly, that is the 1991 industrial policy objectives, that starts from 17 to 38. We will continue it. I had discussed earlier 16th point of 1991 industrial policy. 16th point was related to labor welfare measures, workers' participation. There is change in the legislative actions, legislations, so that to protect the interest of the workers and to protect the interest of the labor, enhance their welfare, labor will be made equal partner in progress and prosperity, workers' participation in management will be promoted. This is the 16th feature, and thereby the first section of 39 points is completed. Now we are entering into the 17th to 38th section of 1991 industrial policy. 17th point of 24 July 1991 industrial policy is purely related to the what is to be done, that is known as major objective of the new industrial policy. Major objective of the new industrial policy. It is quite interesting that our level of completing this very large section of Indian economy, that is industrial policy, and especially 1991, which is in the syllabus of UPSC, in project manager, UPSC, everywhere it is there. So I have tried my level best to provide you the original thing in the original sequence that any book cannot do, because it is related to copyright. But for a student and teachers, there is no copyright, and therefore it is placed before you in an original form, and it is up to you that how many times you memorize and practice it. So objectives of the new industrial policy as documented by the government in 1991. Number one, industrial policy of 1991 package will be built on the gains already made. So it is claimed that 37 years rule, 36 years and 303 days rule, that is approximately 37 years rule of Nehru, Gandhi family prime ministership of Indian economy, prime ministership of India. So prime minister in India, three prime ministers, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Srimati Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. These three prime ministers period is 37 years. So this 37 years conclusion is written in the first objective of 1991, that is termed as major objectives of the new industrial policy 1991. Industrial policy 1991 package will be built on the gains already made. So government is claiming that there is no bankruptcy. There is real gain in terms of infrastructure, in terms of industries, in terms of development, in terms of R&D. Everywhere there is a gains. That gains already made. So this package will be built on the gains already made. Second major objective is known as industrial policy of 1991 package will be to correct distortions or weakness that may have crept in, and this package will be to correct the distortions or weakness that may have crept in. Third major objective of 1991 industrial policy, that package will be to maintain a sustained growth in productivity and gainful employment. Third package of 1991 industrial policy, third major objective, that will be to maintain a sustained growth in productivity. Whatever rate you have obtained, to sustain it in coming years. And there is a gain and sustained growth rate and gainful employment. And the fourth major objective of 1991 industrial policy package, that India will attain international competitiveness. India will obtain international competitiveness. It will preserve the environment, and it will try to obtain efficient use of available resources. So these are the background, these are the four objectives known as four major objectives of new industrial policy, which will be later expanded through different points. This is 17th point of the 17 to 38 points section. So we come to the conclusion that major objective of industrial policy of 1991 is related to, number one, to build on the gains of already made. Number two, will be to correct the distortions or weakness that may have crept in Indian economy. Number three, industrial policy package will be to maintain a sustained growth in productivity and gainful employment. And number four, India will attain international competitiveness. India will preserve the environment, and lastly, India will try to obtain efficient use of available resources through this new industrial policy, in which everything new we will see in next points.